Would someone like to read the preamble? Anyone? If you have it. No one has
Sure,
it?
I'll read it.
Oh, okay, thank you. Probably take till tomorrow, we can act around.
We acknowledge that Barre City was developed on Sokoke Abenaki land, which the Western Abenaki Nation never ceded, made treaty for, nor were they conquered. We aspire to create a space in our meetings that is inclusive, participatory, and equitable. We acknowledge we all come from different experiences and that our experiences may be affected by racism, sexism, classism, homophobia, ableism, and many other systems of oppression. We are here to address equity within the systems of our city in order to inform the City Council of our findings. We acknowledge that systemic inequities exist and do not debate the personal experiences of marginalized and underrepresented community members. With that in mind, it is important that we are thoughtful of the impact of our words on each other in this space.
Thank you, Rick. Okay, this is the Thursday night, November 13, 2025, 6:30 p.m. Zoom only meeting of the Justice, Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee of the City of Barre. I am now calling the meeting to order. Now, I don't think there are any adjustments to the agenda unless somebody has something. No? Okay. I don't recall if I sent the minutes, the main meeting minutes with the agenda. If I did not, I think I can get them on the City of Barre website and share them if people don't have them. Anyone?
They are on the City of Barre website.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't know if everyone has access. Let me go in there. Or no, I've got them right here. And I'll share my screen. Okay, here we go. Host share. What one is that? Oh, here we go. All right. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yep.
Okay, I'll scroll down. When people are done reading, I'll keep scrolling.
And I would make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Okay. I don't think there's. Yeah, well, that's okay. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all right. The minutes are approved. Okay, I gotta get back to the agenda here just a moment. Right. Okay, old business, Joan's not here, so we can't really do, talk about the, grant expenditures. I thought she was gonna be here, but anyway. And I don't have a copy of the final report. Let's talk about justice. Does anyone have that? No? Okay, well, then we'll have to, table that one. Subcommittee assignments. I don't have that in front of me, to be honest with you, so I don't know who's on which committee. Do subcommittee, do people know what subcommittee they're serving on?
I'm currently on none. I didn't, you were gonna send me that information after last.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm very derelict, which is one of the reasons we can go on to new business, I suppose, and that's me resigning as chair. I'm having a lot of health issues right now. In fact, I'm gonna have to take a leave of absence from my job. So, and I just can't keep any commitments right now. So, I would like to resign if anyone is willing to take on the role of chair. And I know that I think it was Rick that proposed maybe having co-chairs. And that we could do that as well. I think we should just open it up for discussion and see what people think.
I'm happy to join Rick as co-chair if the group feels that that is acceptable.
Okay, Rick, I assume you're in agreement with that?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's sounds like a good good way
Okay.
forward.
Okay. Go ahead.
My thought process is that in order for continuity's sake, that either Greg or I should be would be the logical choices for chair. I also think, though, that whoever is elected as chair, that we should have new elections in each year, so that the whoever is elected chair today would serve until next July, and then we would continue to have elections. We haven't been doing that, but I think that it's important that we have elections each year and not just make someone the chair until such time as the
Okay.
person decides not to be chair anymore.
You said July. From now to July. Was there some reason we wouldn't go a year from now?
I mean, you could go a year from now. I think, though, that having it at the beginning, I think July is when the
Fiscal year.
when the
Yeah.
fiscal year starts and when the new terms start.
I believe you are correct. Okay, I guess we would want to maybe put that issue forth as a motion.
Okay.
You know, of having year-long terms for the chair. If someone's prepared to make that motion.
I can make the motion to have the chair run until the July meeting and then have elections at the July meetings for with the chair serving as 1-year terms. And the same for the vice chair.
Is there a second?
I second.
Are all in favor?
I,
I
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, well, the ayes have it. So, all right, so now we need to, based on that, William, you said a chair and a vice chair, which would kind of nullify what
Well, I mean, you can have co-chairs. That's
what Matt had suggested. Yeah, okay, yeah, but they would both need to be elected.
Mhm.
Which, you know, would be now. I don't know. Sonia, do you know if the current chair even gets a vote? I don't think so.
The
On the
current
roll.
chair?
Gets a vote on the next chair.
Well, are you, I guess it's a bit confusing. If you're officially resigned from the committee, you're not on the committee anymore, so you wouldn't get a vote, but have you officially resigned, or are you gonna officially resign as soon as we elect a new chair?
I'm gonna resign as chair, but I'm gonna stay on the committee.
Oh, well then why can't you vote? Of course you can vote.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I guess, should we put a motion up for me to resign as chair, or can I just do that? I would think I could do it.
You
don't-
don't,
But
you don't need a
you have to
motion.
make
You can just resign as
Yeah.
the chair.
Okay, yeah, no, and I don't like doing this, but I just haven't had the time to commit to this. I have a whole pile of material here that Joellen gave me, so whomever takes on the role, I will, provide you with that. And but I would like to see the committee keep going, so. All right, well,
And
I'm here.
maybe next July you'll be in a better position and we can have you as chair again.
Maybe, thank you.
Or a July after that.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not, I have no problem saying this. I have type 2 diabetes, but I was also diagnosed not long ago with congestive heart failure on top of it. So I'm focusing my full-time effort,
Understood.
full-time on my health, including losing a considerable amount of weight. So anyway, yeah, so we'll see what happens down the road. But anyway, so yes, I resign. So now we need to pick a new chair or two co-chairs. So the floor is open for that if anyone wants to nominate themselves. I mean, Matt had suggested doing co-chairs with him and Sean,
Rick?
excuse me, Rick. I don't know if you want to make a formal motion or if we want to debate it some more, because William had said we should have continuity with either him or Greg. So I, I guess we could just have a discussion and then maybe get to a motion.
Well,
So
I would like to formally nominate William, I guess is
as chair,
yes, as chair.
or well, I guess we should discuss. I'd like to promote a discussion of how we want to do this and who's eventually gonna get nominated
Sure.
and whether it's gonna be one person or two. So
Well, Greg is currently the vice chair
yeah,
and he has not resigned. So as far as I'm concerned, at this point in time, he would be the vice chair and
yeah,
would be the acting chair if you are resigning from the committee, from the chairmanship.
Okay. Is anyone else interested in serving as chair? It sounds like Matt might be, and maybe Rick too. I don't know. So anyone?
If I'm nominated, then I would be happy to serve.
Okay. Matt, are you interested in serving as chair?
Yeah, my bandwidth, it would, no, I can't, I was willing to consider a co-chair. But I can't, yeah. I mean, I have the skill set and the experience, but yeah, being a chair standalone would not be
Would not
fair
work.
to anybody.
All right. Well, I guess the question would be, William, are you willing to do a co-chair arrangement? And then how would we handle the vice chair? So I don't know how that would work. So I'm asking everyone for input here because I don't have any strong uh feelings about either way. So I think a co-chair idea is good because it splits the responsibility. But and there is a lot, which is why I haven't been able to do it. So I don't know. I mean, uh, I I I think it would be better for two people to be either splitting the role or we continue with a chair and a vice chair. But the I either way, I didn't even know we had a vice chair, to be honest. So that's one more reason why I need to resign. So
Co-chairs can be a really effective model. I was um, I was a co-chair of the board of directors at All Brains Belong for a year, and then my co-chair had to leave for personal reasons, and then I chaired the board for another year by myself. And I can say that co-chairs are it's a very effective model, because amongst the two people, they can take on roles that fit each person's zone of genius, and then yeah, it works very well.
okay. Well, I guess sitting here thinking, I suppose one model we could adapt for, until July anyway, is you and William serve as co-chairs and Greg can continue as vice chair. And that would be an option. And then, we revisit the issue in July. I don't know if people are amenable to that, but I'm trying to find a compromise that would work for everyone.
I mean, if we're talking until just July, continuity, as well, then continuing the model with a chair, and then in July reconsidering the model.
Well, I'm proposing to change the model now to two co-chairs for the next 7 months, and would you? I presume it would be you and William, and then Greg would continue as vice chair, and then revisit the model in July. But I can't. Well, no, I can make a motion now because I'm not chair anymore. So
yeah, I don't know. I have
reservations.
yeah, it just I don't know. The things are
Differences of opinion.
yes,
I see.
absolutely.
Well, I don't know.
I think if William wants to take on chair, I think that would be effective.
Okay, and with Greg continuing as vice chair, I assume. Well, I don't know. I mean, the chair usually sets the agenda. So I guess I would wonder, William, what would you how would you want to go forward?
Well, basically, I would be looking for input from each of the members in terms of what they wish to have on the agenda.
I see. Yeah, well, that makes sense because,
And
I have I have no objections to that. I know some people would think that William's politics are in accord with maybe the objectives of the committee. I don't think that is necessarily an accurate assessment. even if, assuming that it is, it's not as if the committee isn't gonna be concerned with various issues, or, you know, the chair doesn't even get a vote, so, you know, I'm not opposed to William is serving as chair, if, you know, for continuity purposes, if nothing else, but, that's my feeling. I still like the idea of co-chairs, but if, Matt, if you're not interested in serving with William, then, I don't know if that would work. I mean, I do not want to devote time as a co-chair right now, even as a co-chair. It would just not.
No, but as I said, you know, continuity wise, William is chair. Keeping the committee or the structure that is currently in place. And then we revisit this in July.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm amenable to that myself. I don't know how other people feel. Sean, Greg, Rick, do you have anything?
I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Very-
As long as the you know the work is shared and we move the committee's work forward.
Yeah, well, that's my concern that, you know, William, that I've been derelict in scheduling meetings, that kind of thing. If we can at least hold a monthly meeting, I think that would be, you know, a good step in the right direction. So, I'm assuming you were able to do that.
Yeah, it's, I've been holding
Uh-huh.
monthly meetings for various organizations for
For a long
a number
time.
of years.
Do we want to continue with Thursdays, the second Thursday of the month?
Yeah, that's like if I have any comments, my comment is that let me take a look at my work. Let me just go grab my work phone because I think a lot of our meetings over the last year have coincided with evening meetings for my work. So I want to just see what's a
Okay.
good Thursday, a regular Thursday.
All right.
Can I interject something here?
Forward.
Could we get Greg made a motion, there was no second, and you haven't voted on having William be the chair. Are you going
No,
to
I
do that?
know. Yeah, well, we should vote on that, yes. I agree with you.
Maybe that piece of business should be taken care of before we decide on when meetings should happen?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I just want to wait for Sean to get back. Rick to get back, excuse me. And then, yeah, I think we should vote. Okay.
Are we waiting on my my
Oh, we are
availability?
waiting.
Or?
Yeah, well, but now we can. Greg, you made a motion to nominate William as chair or to serve until July of next year. Is that
That
correct?
is correct.
Okay,
I'll second that motion.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
I
Aye. Any opposed? I have it. Okay. Very good. Congratulations, William. I can think.
I will let you continue for the remainder of the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Well, I can imagine certain people are not going to be. We are a committee of diversity. That includes the diversity of opinion, you know. So I'm confident that we'll continue doing what we have done under William's stewardship, under anyone's stewardship, because we're a committee. We're not. It's not like the chair is the president or something like that. So
Mhm.
anyway,
Could I interject something?
sure.
Your comment about diversity of opinion is fine, but I think opinion is one thing and fact is another. And I think when we are trying to veil or couch an opinion when it's actually a fact, or when we are using people's personal opinions to marginalize other people, then it has then gone away from actually opinion, and that's not, I think we have to be clear about that in this committee. So I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page about that.
I concur. I concur. And I myself will encourage healthy debate of any issues that are problematic. So, you know, I, I understand what you're saying, Sonia, but I'm hopeful we can work out, differences of views, of which there are some for sure.
So,
There,
Chris, I'm going to just jump right into the deep end right now. When
Yeah.
there are people on the committee who want to take my rights away as a woman, and my right to choose what I do with my body, that is not an opinion. That is what I do with my body. And so that's
I
a problem
agree.
for me. So that's why I'm saying that.
No, I agree. It's just as if someone believed that, black people are inferior in some way to white people, or, I agree. And I don't know. I'm wondering, do you think we should move forward? Given,
I have an issue. I'm not part of the committee and I don't get to vote, but I have an issue with the chair of the committee not recognizing all of the rights of the people who are serving on the committee.
well, okay. Well, I don't know. Anyone have a discussion about this? We might as well have a frank exchange. That's,
Being new, I don't honestly know what this whole thing is, so I'm not sure where the issues lie.
Well, Mr. Toborg could tell you why I'm expressing these concerns, because he knows exactly what I'm talking about and he's now the chair. So he could maybe take responsibility and we could talk about diversity of thought. But diversity of thought and diversity of opinion are very different things than taking people's rights away. And William, you wanted to be the chair because of continuity. So you remember the history of why we're here and why I'm saying what I'm saying. I've been on the committee long enough also to realize. So would you like to tell why I'm saying all of these things?
Well, I can tell you that the well, let me just put it right out there that I think she's referring to that I am a Catholic and hold to the teachings of the Catholic Church. I have also been, and I know that Chris and I have had, when we did the, Chris, I think you recognize my thoughts and where I come from when we went to the Let's Talk About It program.
yeah.
And so my thoughts in terms of the program are, what we're looking at doing here is we're looking at an area where we're talking about justice, equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. And one of my goals here is to help guide the belonging portion of the committee. And I think, as you've indicated, healthy debate is a part of that.
Would you also agree that belonging means not standing in City Hall Park holding a sign that said that immigrants should be sent home?
I also noticed that there were people, you know, we've got differences in terms of what people stand for. There were people on the other side who were holding flags in support of Holocaust. I did not say anything about those people, including, I believe, a member of this committee, someone who was a member of this committee at that time. So I have, my hope here is that this become a committee in which, yes, we have diversity. We're diversity of opinion, yes, is a major part of it, but we are also looking at helping guide people to understand where different people of different opinions are coming from, and frankly, that helping people to understand that for the most part, most of us want to get along with other people.
I can understand that. I can appreciate that, William. But I also think that you saying that your faith basically takes away my rights as a person is not diversity of thought.
And then again, your ideas also take away the rights of other people.
Who am I taking rights away from? Please explain.
Well, your ideas take away the rights of the unborn, for example. Now, I don't think
Unborn
that
doesn't have rights. They don't have rights till they're born. And according to the Bible, they are not a human.
I
They take their first breath. So,
well,
so you're not.
I don't want to get into a long discussion about that. I don't think that this is the place to do that.
So
But
where would be the place if it's not Justice, Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee? What committee would it be?
I think if we want to have public forums, we can have public forums. And I would encourage our committee to have public forums.
So we're going to have public forums and talk about this, but you're not willing to talk about it in just our committee.
I have talked about it. I have talked about it previously. I have been attacked previously. Frankly,
which rights of yours are being taken away is my question. Which rights of yours?
well,
What
I can tell you one of the rights you are talking about the rights being taken away, but one of the rights that women have that is being taken away in Vermont is the right to give birth.
Excuse me?
That the legislature recently passed legislation that under certain circumstances takes away a woman's right to give birth.
What are you talking about?
Are you talking about the state of Vermont is forcing women to have abortions?
What they have done is women who have taken the abortion pill, the state has said that pharmacists who, if someone gives the abortion pill, the abortion reversal pill, that those people can be put up on charges and have their licenses taken away. Whereas by doing that, they are actually taking away a woman's right to give birth. Now,
Okay, I'm going to go back to my original question, which is what rights are being taken away from you, William?
there has well, hopefully one thing we're trying to do here is make sure that that doesn't happen.
Well, you don't have any being taken away. You've never had any taken away because you are the top of the hierarchy here.
And that,
So, William,
yes,
I also want to say, as a baptized Catholic who lived in the closet for 15 years, finally decided that the truth of who I am was more important than anyone else's opinion about who I am. I want you to be able to express your faith. I do not. I refuse to have your beliefs limit my rights.
Mhm.
I would go back to our preamble. That we are trying to promote a safe space here. And I think that we really need to be conscious of what we say, and how that's going to impact other people. And if you have any doubt about whether it's going to do so, then don't say it. You know, um, uh, I personally have a mantra I follow, before saying something. It's a two-part test. Is it true and is it kind? And oftentimes things will be true, but they're not kind. And I think from what I'm hearing Sonia say, she doesn't think a lot of what you say, uh, William, is either true or kind. It's dismissive. So I would want that us all to follow what is stated in our preamble. That we acknowledge that inequities do exist. If we don't believe it personally, I don't know if it needs to be part of this committee. Is what I'm saying. Um, uh, Even if it's religious beliefs. For example, if someone on the committee here were a conservative, an Orthodox person who's an Orthodox Jew, they're probably going to have some perspectives with which I would vehemently disagree. I don't know. I think this is not easy. When you're talking about human issues where there's a real difference of opinion. But again, that's opinion. But the fact is that we somehow have to live together as a culture, as a society, and be respectful. And I just hope we can do that in the committee, while you're chair. I know some people would say that's not possible. I'm willing to. I'm. I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. So, I. I think it's odd too that we're a diversity committee and we're all men. That alone kind of says something. Um, we are mixed race, yes, and mixed sexual orientation. But I really hope that women would be on this committee at some point. Um, Sonia can't because she's on the council, and I understand that, but we really need women on this committee. If we're going to be inclusive, let's be inclusive. And I hope that all of us will be inclusive in this committee and be conscious of what if we have beliefs that might be offensive to others, that I, not express them. This has to be a safe space. That's my opinion, but I think it's also what we all agree to by being on this committee. If we can't agree to that, then we've got a problem. So, I would start from there and go forward.
And I generally try to keep my opinions that people would find problematic. I try to keep those opinions to myself during the meetings and have generally only been presented them when directly asked.
Here's the issue that I have with all of this conversation. The fact that we're basically saying, oh, you can have thoughts about other people and you can, let's say you can be a misogynist, you can be sexist, you can be racist. Just don't talk about it at the Jedi B meeting. That seems ridiculous to me. The whole point is to try to get people to be more inclusive and to be recognize that other people should have the same rights and privileges as everyone else. Instead of like putting our heads in the sand and pretending that, we're all just going to get along. And I'm really struggling as the only woman who's sitting and listening to the committee. I need to stand up and say it is frustrating. It is difficult when you have someone who has everyone on the committee who's served on this committee understands that the new chair does not believe that some people should have the same rights as other people. And so that's a problem. That's a huge problem. I don't care if it's talked about in the committee or not. If someone else is standing out with a flag, a Nazi flag, are we going to let them be the chair of the committee? I don't think that's a good idea either. Do you see how this could be perceived from someone like me? Why would you're not going to get any more women to join the committee when you have someone on the committee who doesn't want to give women rights?
I'm not sure what to say at this point. I agree with you, Sonia, but I don't know what.
If you're trying to make the committee basically irrelevant, you're doing a really good job.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm not. I don't want it to be irrelevant. And from a symbolism point of view, yeah, perhaps William being chair is very problematic. But I don't know. By saying he can't be chair, that too is being, I suppose, on one hand exclusionary. But I understand why you're saying it, and I'm sympathetic to it. So I don't know what. That's why I was hoping we could have co-chairs, and somewhat ameliorate this. But you know, I mean, taking that logic to taking that to its logical conclusion, it arguably would say, well, then you shouldn't be on the committee if you don't agree with um the rights of all people, agree
If you don't believe in equity, you shouldn't be on the committee. Equity is about letting people have the same rights as everybody else. That means me as a woman should have the same rights as you as a man.
I agree. I don't know, but we haven't had I hate that phrase litmus test, but we haven't had a criteria for serving on the committee. And I remember there was that big controversy a couple of years ago whereby, people felt, well, if I can't be on the committee, even though I have different views, that too is exclusionary. And I don't know how you get around that problem. I really don't. I think a lot of it's nonsense myself, what's going on right now. Like to say that diversity, equity, and inclusion has become itself exclusionary. I don't believe that. And I also don't think it's discriminatory or any. That's turning logic on its head, not to mention reality. So I don't know.
So my thought is that I can consider mainly my own experience in life of being othered or misunderstood or judged based on who people think I am. And and I've grown to a place in my life where there is no space for that. So, William having experience as chair, working, with all of us through July, I would hope as chair, he would be open to some transparent conversation and disagreement, because rights and beliefs are two very different things. And that's where I'm going to draw the line as an active member of this committee. I've been doing it my whole life.
Likewise. And there are many people who would deny our existence. Or in
The other-
effect, be
The other
opposed.
thing is that this is a committee with subcommittees and work to be done, and that work is in service to minimizing harm, maximizing equity of opportunity, things like that. And so, as long as that the committee is able to further those goals, I think that's the important thing. If anything else stands in the way of that, then we have committee rules and processes to deal with it in some way. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully running a committee and moving forward the work of analyzing policy and making it so that policies are more aware of the effects on the residents. Hopefully that won't be negatively impacted by whoever is chair.
I'll readily agree with that. And given the state of the world that we live in, I said all along, because people are renaming their DEI committees, and I actually serve on the committee for the UVM Health Network in addition, and so when they changed the name, there was a lot of upset. But my point was that the name doesn't matter as much as the work. And as long as the work continues, then we're fine. But if the work is impeded because of leadership, then that will become an issue. And I will certainly lend my voice to any opposition to the work being upset, because what we need to do is move forward.
I agree.
I agree, but I do understand that it's problematic to have someone who's openly anti-choice serving as chair of the committee, or even being on the committee, I guess you could argue. And that's where you run into rocky shoals, because we want to promote justice, equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. So maybe this is a good challenge. I don't know. I know from my own experience, when you're talking about diversity, it isn't kumbaya and let's all hold hands and sing it's a small world after all. Diversity by its very nature is controversial, it's challenging, it is confrontational, it is not necessarily all happy, and it's not, it's contentious, so, and gets
I
at the
see,
heart of who we are as human beings. So I don't know. I think this is a good discussion.
I see, Chris, I see this as an opportunity for really transparent discussion.
Yeah.
And in that communication, truth becomes more evident. And that is the work. It's always the work. It comes down to what's true, what's real. And yeah, I think this is an opportunity to really just present that to the world.
I'd also like to bring up a concern that Sonia had is that I think one of the principles is that diversity of opinion and diversity of voice does yield greater equity. Just because if we're considering a greater number of voices, then that affects the work that the committee will do. So I think her point that we need more diversity on this committee is a really excellent one.
Well,
So maybe we should make that a point, something that we need to accomplish sooner than later.
How
well,
many open seats on are there on the committee?
we don't, I don't know if we've ever had a set number. I believe I think we are allotted 7,
Okay.
but I don't quote me on that. But assuming that's true,
The
then we
website
want-
says, the webpage says that there are 3 vacant seats, 2 of which are student member seats.
yeah. No, for a regular member, we have 1 vacancy.
Okay.
And I don't know. I want us to continue. And
I
however we go forward, I want us to continue and promote the goals of this committee.
absolutely agree.
You know, this city needs it. There, there's a lot of opposition to, I think, diversity and inclusion. And I think by our very existence, people have to acknowledge, well, okay, we have to be mindful of these issues. Cannot abide the idea of a committee like this somehow being it's promoting the very values that people are how I'm not saying this correctly, that by being in existence and doing what we do, we're the ones causing the problem. We're the ones who are discriminating. We're the ones who are, I think that is complete, utter bullshit. I don't believe in wokeism. I'll say it right out. I think it's nonsense. I think that have things gone a little bit far sometimes? Well, I don't know. How do you define how too far? I do, safe spaces on it to me seems even problematic, I suppose, because if in an educational environment, I think open dialogue is essential. It's crucial. However, there is such a thing as trauma. And, I think that we have to be cognizant of, again, what we say, but we're not here to promote exclusivity. We're here to promote inclusion. And so I know that William has views with which I am complete disagreement, but I'm willing to, think that I don't see that why he couldn't chair the committee in terms of procedure, in terms of running meetings, organizing meetings. as for what we do as a committee, well, that's up to all of us too. You know, but Joellen had a lot of influences. She set the agenda, and you know, I admire her. She had a lot more get up and go than I have had, and that's why I'm resigning because I can't do it. But
So
I wish I could. But I think
I think you know, we are following an inclusive model. William certainly doesn't, you know, I don't share his notions about the world. He doesn't share mine. But I'm willing to give him an opportunity to lead this group. The group as a collective is the one that has the voice to set the direction. And I think this will be an excellent opportunity to put all of, you know, what we care about out on the table. And you know, I for one will be committed to the mission that we have established. And our chair's job is to steward that. But the committee gets to vote.
yeah, well, the chair can't even vote.
No.
You know, so I mean,
So I,
Except to break a tie.
yeah, except to break a tie. And so I think we're being inclusive, we're being respectful, we're recognizing William's experience, and you know, the mission of the committee is clear. And so as we move forward, you know, we will work to implement that mission.
well, I agree. I I'm looking at the agenda, even though I'm not chairing, but I think we've gone over, we've done what we were called to do. You know, the old business we'll have to take up again, but I I'm not yeah, I'm happy to I'm not no, that's not true. I am I'm hearing all the concerns and I'm concerned, and I think we will have to we'll have to we'll have to really work at this. I think it's the bottom line. And
And I think that's the point, Chris.
yeah, we're gonna have to work at it. I mean, I personally believe in very strongly in a woman's right to control her body, and that includes decisions about whether to terminate a pregnancy. I absolutely believe that to the core of my being. I know that William absolutely doesn't believe it. You know, and but I don't want that to be an impediment to us at least trying to find some common ground on other things, but we're not going to find common ground on that. It's just not going to happen.
Here's my issue. Here's my issue. And I'm going to speak up because I'm the only woman on that's sitting here listening to this right now. It's fine to say we can have diversity of opinion and we can have diversity of thought. And then, okay, so the chair of your committee doesn't believe that your council liaison should have the same rights as everyone else on the committee, but that's okay. If the chair of the committee was taking away your rights and didn't actually believe in equity, would that be okay with you? How would you feel serving on a committee with someone who will stand out in the park and or stand in front of Planned Parenthood and try to take away my rights as a person?
I understand.
And we're just supposed to have diversity of thought about that. I think part of the problem is that I'm the only woman standing here, sitting at this meeting, who's bumping up against the fact that Mr. Toborg doesn't want me to have the same rights as every other person on the screen. And I'm going to ask you all to think about that. If he was trying to take away your rights, would you feel comfortable having him be your chair? Would you feel comfortable having him be the person who represents this group?
Well, he may believe in taking away my rights. We haven't really pursued that, because I know the Catholic Church is opposed to LGBTQ rights as well.
So if he doesn't talk about it, it's okay?
No, I'm saying if he believes in church orthodoxy on that issue, it's the same. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. But I guess I don't know how to resolve it because it's not just a chair. Realistically, it would be anyone on this committee. But then I don't know how you get around that because are you going to? It's frustrating because I'm thinking of someone like Nick Fuentes. I wouldn't want Nick Fuentes on this committee, but
I wouldn't want him on the committee either.
yeah,
So.
but see that, yeah, I mean, Nick,
or anywhere near anything.
anyone
I find his views abhorrent.
I mean, so I don't.
So if you're only slightly less equitable, that's okay, as long as it's not slightly less equitable towards you. Because this is very unequitable towards women. Very unequitable. And that's a basic, we are half of the population. And yet we are having our rights taken away faster than a lot of other people.
That's true.
Yeah, it is true. We're lucky in Vermont that we are not having those rights taken away. Thank God I live here and not somewhere else. Thank God my daughter lives here and not somewhere else. And if you don't, here's the thing. I'm going to keep doing this. William can be the chair, and I'm going to come every single time, and I'm going to say the same things every single time, because I don't think that someone who doesn't believe in the main premise of equity should be the chair of the Justice, Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee.
Well, it's unfortunate we're having this discussion after we voted.
Yeah, really. I mean, I
don't get to vote.
No, but we,
and for continuity, and the fact that William was also not transparent and did not give any of this and just wanted to talk about continuity, he has been called out multiple times in this committee for not being equitable and not having a diversity of or respecting inclusion. Why he wants to be on the committee, I do not understand.
Would you like to speak to that, William?
If you're talking, we can't hear you because you're muted.
Yeah,
So I joined the committee I was one of the original members, and I joined it because I believe that it was important to have a conservative view on the committee. And in many cases, basically in most cases, the idea of the conservative view goes along with what the committee is doing. As I said, my goal in this case is to, for continuity's sake, from here until July. I'm assuming that in July, we will be looking at a vote for potentially for a new chair, having someone else take the ball at that point in time. But and frankly, I would have been happier to have Greg as the chair of the committee, but he did not seem to be interested in doing so. But
So do you, but you can honestly say you don't believe in equity,
that is not true.
but you think that my rights should be taken away. So how is that equitable?
I do not know. You're talking about something. I do not believe that that abortion is a main purview of this committee. If you are saying that, then you are saying that half of the people, anyone who is then you are being exclusionary, I would say.
No, don't turn this around, William. I'm asking you a point blank question. Do you think that I have the same rights as you
You have the same rights as me.
in Vermont?
Yeah.
If I live in Texas, do I have the same rights as you?
Yes.
I do. I get to choose what I would do with my body. If I live in Georgia, do I have the same rights as you?
The fact of the matter that the fact of the matter is that this is, if you are going to say that you're going to exclude people based on that belief, then you're excluding a large majority. I wouldn't say a large majority. You're excluding a significant portion of the population.
No, I actually disagree because I think the majority of the population believes that women should have the right to choose. And I also believe that it is not that if you can't get on board with simple equity for men and women, I don't see how you can get on board with half of the other things that we're talking about. That's the most basic thing. An unborn clump of cells has more rights than me as a living, breathing, tax-paying, productive, successful member of society, in your opinion. I have a problem with that. I also have a problem. I'm going to call all of you out right now because I have a problem with the fact that all of the other people on this committee are perfectly fine with just saying, it's okay to have William. How much trouble can he cause in a few months? That's ridiculous. If this person was trying to advocate against your rights in City Hall Park, would you want him as your chair? That's what I want you to think about. And why I continue to ask, why does Mr. Toborg feel compelled to be on a committee where he can't even agree to the basic tenet of equity?
Well, I think this, we should definitely talk about this, but I don't know if we're gonna get it resolved tonight. So
I
I don't
don't
know.
think we're going to get it resolved until Mr. Toborg decides he doesn't need to be on the committee anymore, to be perfectly honest. Or until he decides that it's okay for women to have a right to choose what they do with their own body. Those are the two options.
Those are your two options.
Well,
The thing is that as a committee, you don't know what my beliefs are. I don't know what everyone else's beliefs are, but I am here to do some work so that as a community, everyone can start to think about this kind of thing.
I appreciate that, Greg.
That's what we need to be doing. and to make sure that within the bylaws and statutes of the city that they don't run amok of what we're trying to do here and go and exclude people for whatever reason. So the fact is I'm a Catholic, but you don't know if I believe that you should have the ability to choose or not.
You're also
And
not our chair, and
that's
you're also
right.
not
But I
standing
could
in
I
the
could have
park.
been. I could
You
have
could have
been.
been, yep, but you also were not standing at the polls trying to have people vote against your rights.
Right, but I could have been standing somewhere else. You don't know.
You're right. I don't know.
So the question is, can we do the job of making sure the city is being equitable in the things that are codified and the things that they do? Because that's why we're here. We're not here to try to, change the whole population or, you know, make political statements or, get into our personal religious beliefs or any of that stuff. We're here to make sure the city and all that it has going on as far as, laws and bylaws and ordinances, are there problems in that? And I think William, with he's been on this committee the longest. Um, and we need some structure right now to move us forward. And if we don't like what he's doing, we could always change that. But it's the
There's,
work
I
of the
don't think
committee.
there's a mechanism to remove a chair from a committee.
There will be in July.
Well, I guess I shouldn't have resigned. Um, I really didn't think this would come up. And so and not because I'm insensitive, but because I just didn't think it was going to come up.
How can there be no mechanism to remove a chair from a committee? Wouldn't the committee just propose a measure and
Yeah,
or vote?
I don't think there's any way to remove anyone from a committee, to be perfectly honest, unless no, I don't think there is. I don't think there's a mechanism.
well, maybe that's something the city should explore. Yeah.
We've talked about it. Yeah. The committees are, I mean, there are a lot of problems with the committees in the city.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love, yeah.
Is
Anyway,
there a mechanism to add people to a committee?
I think you could ask if we could increase the number of people on our committee, but we can't even fill the seats we have. So I'm guessing
yeah, the problem is we can't even find people to be on the committee, you know?
Well, yeah, I don't know. It seems to me that the reason that not all the seats are filled is because nobody's actually out there asking for people to join. I don't know, maybe. I haven't really had much opportunity to talk
Well,
to any of you one-on-one about community business. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying to work on some of the committee business. I see in the agenda, I see old business and new business. What about ongoing business? And in working on the current business, I hope that we can avoid anything that would actually cause harm or infringe on anybody's rights in the city. As Greg was talking about. Now I understand Sonia's concerns and objections to William because of I find I'm not familiar enough with William to know like this history. So that's kind of news to me. At the same time, what I did hear William say about characterizing something that I have no knowledge of as not forcing people to have abortions, I find that really inflammatory, and that's not the kind of speech that is consistent with the principles of the committee. So yeah, aside from moving forward with work that we can move forward with, and trying to find ways forward with trying to everyone's rights. I think that's what we need to keep doing.
I would like to know, Sonia, as the city council liaison to the committee, which fortunately has some, women representation. How would you like to see this handled go right now? I'm not talking about just right now. I mean, because I don't know from a procedural perspective, what to do. I mean, we could undo our vote, or that kind of thing, but that's not what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is how I'm thinking, how can we just move forward tonight to our next meeting? Because my sense is you don't agree and want William to serve as chair at all. And, we voted on him to be chair. So how do we resolve this? And no, recognizing too, you're not a member of the committee, but that doesn't mean you're not valuable and that we're not hearing you. I mean, that I agree with much of what you're saying. So, but I don't know how to resolve anything of this magnitude right now.
I think
Maybe.
this is the sticky part of a Jedi B committee, is that we're
Yeah.
dealing with really difficult issues and they actually do impact people, and it's hard to find solutions when we allow people to continue to I will say have opinions that impede on other people's rights. That's the bottom line. I mean, I've sat in this committee and advocated for more diversity in our downtown celebration of holidays, especially in the wintertime. It doesn't mean I don't celebrate Christmas. I celebrate Christmas myself personally. I am a Christian. I have attended church before. I'm baptized. I'm all of those things. But that doesn't mean that every single person in this community also believes those things. And I recognize that we need to be more inclusive of other people. And I'm not trying to convert people to my religion. I'm not trying to say, well, you just need to celebrate Christmas. I'm not suggesting any of those things. I'm simply saying, let's have more diversity of thought. That's recognizing that other people do things differently is fine. I understand, like, okay, I get you don't celebrate Christmas, you celebrate Hanukkah, you celebrate Kwanzaa, you celebrate something else. Fine. I'm totally fine with that. I would like that to be, we would find a way to be more inclusive. What I worry about is that when there are people on the committee who do not agree with the basic tenets of justice, equity, inclusion, diversity, belonging, then I don't understand how you can continue to say we want to do good work. I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense to me. I continue to think that when you have the chair of the committee who's setting the agenda, and you don't have a diversity of thought because everyone on the committee is a man, then that's
Well,
you're already excluding people. I'm speaking up because I want you to recognize that. And how
I
do we move forward? I don't know how we move forward. I do not, I cannot in good conscience let this meeting end without speaking up to say, I have a problem with this. I understand you voted. I understand you have your chair. I will continue to serve as your city council liaison. And I also will continue to push the fact that everyone who is on a justice, equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging committee should believe in those things for everybody, regardless of their gender, their sexual orientation, their gender identity, any of those things, their religion, all of those things.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Sonia.
I
I
agree.
agree. I would like to, have a really candid, open discussion about this as a committee. I know we're required to have be a public committee, but I would hate to have that in the sense of turning into some free for all. I mean, I'm more concerned with the six of us as a committee talking about these issues and maybe making another decision. I don't know. I can't do it right now. But I guess we're gonna end tonight with none of us feeling satisfied. So,
Could we end the meeting with action items? What we are all going to do
yeah,
between now and the next meeting?
well, yeah, sure. We need to take up the items that, like, Joellen wasn't here, so we need to take up the funding issue, the let's talk, resolve how we're gonna pay for that, subcommittee assignments, which I have the materials here. I will send out the stuff that was requested, and I'm sorry to do that. Beyond that, I don't know. I mean, we have a meeting
I'm happy
scheduled
to,
for
I'm
December
happy to
11th.
speak with Joellen about whatever needs to be resolved, because I know this has been an ongoing issue.
Yeah, but I do know she wanted to be here last time. I haven't heard from her. I don't know what's going on, but
She sent an email.
I emailed her the link, the Zoom link.
oh, I didn't get an email from her. But okay.
She
Well,
said she couldn't get to the page for the link, so that's why she wasn't here.
So I'm happy to reach out to her and
just a minute. Well, we have another meeting scheduled for, I believe it's December 11th.
Okay.
I don't know if we want to have a special meeting before then. I mean, I'm not chair anymore, so.
So let's just, why don't, yes.
Well, yeah, we'll have the next meeting December 11th at 6:30. I'll plan on being at the Public Safety Building so that we can have the meeting make sure that we are able to run it.
I can give you the information, William.
Okay.
Have the password, the username. But you all probably heard me talking. I don't know if it's going to ask for a verification code. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not happy about a lot of this. But I guess I'm being selfish in the sense that, I have to put my own health concerns first. And I don't feel I can give my all to this committee. I think that's self-evident. We've only had like 4 meetings or 3 meetings since January. So you know, um, we need some continuity. So, I, I think we should discuss these issues far more. And, I just can't take the time now, that's all. I have 2
So,
dogs who are
Chris,
about, oh,
should we
nuts.
make a motion to adjourn?
before we do that, just a couple of quick things. Number one, Chris, I don't think anyone here faults you for, taking care of yourself first.
Well, thank you.
That's what you have to do. And also, anyone who is not on one of the committees, subcommittees, or working groups or whatever we call them, once you
Yeah.
get the material from Chris and what each committee is supposed to be doing, subcommittee, take a look at it and consider if you want to, be on one of them. Like there's an education commission, education
There's the
committee.
education committee, and then there's the ordinance subcommittee, which I'm on, and I believe
Yeah.
ordinance
I'm
too.
on that as well.
I don't know who's on what. I don't know the other 4 of you. I don't know which committees you're on, but I know William and I on the ordinance one. And frankly, I want to start working on it because I think there are ordinances that are problematic in this town.
So
You
what are
know,
the committees again? I'm sorry. Ordinances, education.
and education, more broadly, just not just the seminar that Christy Clemens held, but just education more broadly,
Public.
which includes working with the schools, maybe doing a reading group. We've talked about those things, but yeah, I will get the materials that Joellen had on the subcommittees, and I will email them to all of you.
Great.
Um,
Who's on what committees?
Well, I'm on
They're on
education.
the statutes, the ordinances one. Greg, I thought you were on the education
Yeah,
one.
I am.
Okay.
I don't know about Sean, Matt, or Rick.
Yeah, I don't think I'm on any committee on subcommittees yet.
Yeah, you may
Um,
not have volunteered. But those are the 2 committees. So if you want, I will send the materials and you can decide which one you'd like to be on. But we're going to need at least 2 people on each committee, obviously. I mean, there's a subcommittee. So
Sean, did you say something?
Yeah, I'm not, no committees either. I was waiting for the information to figure out what they
yeah,
were.
Okay.
I'll send it. It's a pretty big packet of stuff I got to go through, but I will send it. I promise I will do that soon. As I said, I'm going on a leave from work, so I'll have more time. I reluctantly make a motion for us to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
All right.
No? We'll talk soon. Thank
Thank you,
you,
Chris.
everyone.